Welcome, dear astrology friends. This is the video about March horoscopes of 2026 with me, Veerle, Veerle. Let's delve into this. The month of March is significantly different than the month of February. February is a very eventful month. Watch out, the monthly horoscopes of February. It's a big deal. There's eclipses going on there, and it's the one in Aquarius who has really that flavor of Uranus. I made a video about the solar eclipse separately as well in Aquarius, so check that out. But this month in March, there's another eclipse. And as much as eclipses are eventful moments, this is a totally different one. So I'm going to talk about that eclipse, and it's in Virgo. And it's with the South Node, so significantly different. And no, it's not that very Uranian, all of a sudden kind of energy. And the other two events that I want to talk about in this monthly horoscope is two planets, Mercury and Jupiter, going direct in the month of March. So, which means if these two planets go direct, it means things are becoming way clearer, because Mercury, you could say, and it's going to be around and about the 21st of the month. Mercury will be at 8 degrees of Pisces, where it's not really happy to be there in Pisces, not because Pisces is bad, but Pisces is all about seeing things in a bigger picture, and it would love to communicate with signs rather than words. And Mercury does the opposite. So, but the fact that it goes direct means that things are clearing up in that area where you have Pisces in your chart. So that's a good thing, because Mercury started to go backwards already in February on the 27th. It was at 22 degrees of Pisces, and then it went backwards. So again, it goes direct on the 21st of March, and it's really out of its shadow on the 9th of April, again at 22 degrees of Pisces. We call that out of the shadow. So this is really a very interesting thing. When Mercury goes direct in Pisces, it means really, even more than Mercury in any other sign, it really shows that things clear up. Things clear up and things become way clearer. And definitely, if there have been a little bit of a mystery, when Mercury in Pisces, it's like things get lost. And so that's a good sign. And also, of course, Jupiter has been going retrograde for a couple of months now, and it goes direct again on the 12th of March. So at 15 degrees of Cancer, and it's going to continue to go forwards in Cancer up until like the 1st of July. It's going to enter Leo, which is amazing because Jupiter is really liking the sign of Cancer, because it can be there very nurturing and expansive, and it likes to be in that sign. It's not that it's good or bad, but it's easier to get things done when it comes to Jupiter. And Jupiter is about purpose and about meaning, finding meaning in life. A very big topic nowadays, definitely in the Western world, where a lot of people, young and old, it doesn't matter how old you are, finding purpose is very meaningful and can give a lot of joy and positivism and expansion and abundance in your life. And that is what Jupiter in Cancer is all about, and wants to as well. So I'm going to be looking at in your chart where the sign of Cancer is, and because that is the area of life where you can expect abundance now. And because of the retrograde, there was things that needed to be understood and reassessed, so to speak. And now we can go forwards with the expansion, which is pretty good. Of course, Cancer also means family, things that we feel is important for us to protect, and the people that we love. So very positive with this Mercury going direct and Jupiter going direct. It's really a different energy in March. But let's focus now. Of course, the most important thing of the month of March is, and of course, yes, we've got Venus getting into a certain sign and Mars getting into a certain sign. Mars will be in Pisces, you know, from the 3rd of the month, and for the rest of the month stay there. Venus will be in Aries from the 7th of the month up until the rest of the most of the month. So we see that there's energetically a lot of fire and a lot of water and fire. Exactly. But the most important thing is, of course, the lunar eclipse on the 3rd of March. So we start off with this eclipse, and it's okay, it's around and about the 3rd of March, but we feel it already now as I speak now today on the 5th of February. You know, some astrologers even say that eclipses like lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, you feel it already like 6 months before, 6 months after. And some say even up to a year. But anyway, I do think that these are crucial points in the sky and crucial moments as well, around and about the 3rd of March, of redirection. And as I said, this one is with the South Node. So the South Node will be round and about like 8 degrees of Virgo. Let's have a look if I'm not kidding. No, I'm not. You know, Virgo, looking, you know, double checking. And this is the whole thing. Wanting to be perfect, right? So what is this eclipse all about? It's going to be a lunar one. So with the moon in Virgo at round and about 13 degrees, 12, 13 degrees of Virgo. It's gonna oppose the sun, of course, because it's Piscean time, the sun at 12 to 13 degrees of Pisces. And so this is a full moon eclipse. And the North Node will be in Pisces, 8 degrees, and the South Node at 8 degrees of Virgo with the moon. So it's South Node and the moon kind of eclipse, which always shows, always, whether it is a full moon or a new moon, if we have, like this, full moons, it's culmination time. It's things become really, really, really clear for us. And it's like, those moments that it's a shift. And with the South Node, it means you have to let go of that. You know, it's a good time to let go of that. It's a good time to let go of what? The moon in Virgo, it has to do with tendencies of the Virgo. And of course, you want to let go, not the good stuff of Virgo, which is, you know, discernment and which is kindness. You know, Virgo is a very kind sign. It's a very healing sign as well. A lot of people think that it's just Pisces and Scorpio. No, the axis of Virgo and Pisces is a very healing axis, and this has all to do with the purification of the sign of Virgo. And so this is a lot about purifying. We don't want to get that out of the way, of course, and discerning and being kind and being analytical. No, but I'm talking about the bad traits of the Virgo. If we go too much into the good traits, it becomes bad. Like if you want to be too perfectionistic, it becomes really tight and rigid and worry, you know, and micromanaging. So this is a call. Definitely with the moon and the South Node, that the moon represents our habits and what we are used to do. And it also represents the mind. So this is a lot about the mind that we have of scarcity, the mind that we have of scarcity, the mind that we have of worry, the mind that we have of it's not good enough. I put a lot of pressure on myself. I want to control everything. I want to micromanage everything because I do not trust. The opposite sign, of course, is Pisces, where the North Node is, where our lesson is, so to speak. Lesson. I don't like to say that too much, but the lesson of trust and the lesson of abundance. And the Virgo is, I want to see things first before I trust. But that it's an opposition. An opposition always means we need balance. We don't need to trust, of course, like with the blind eyes and without discernment. That's not what I mean. What I mean is the intention is not coming from fear. Because if the intention is coming from fear, what do you attract? You know, if you worry, you attract what you worry about, right? So we have an invitation in the month of March to really clear that out, to really dissolve that almost, you could say, with the North Node there. And with, there's going to be, especially the first 2 weeks of the month, we're going to have a lot of planets in Pisces. So a lot of energy in the dissolvement kind of energy, so to speak, and in a way of flow. You know, the opposite side of that is flow, because when you flow, you trust and you accept the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's all easy to accept good stuff, right? But when it comes to the bad stuff that we don't want, then it becomes all tricky. And for Virgo, it's really not easy to let go of the stuff that we don't want, because we think we have to fix everything. I say we because I'm a Virgo. Anyway, but you know, people out there who've got some strong planets in Virgo will know that, you know, it's like the Virgo takes on sometimes too much and is a very sensitive sign as well. It's an earthly sign. So what an invitation for us in March to, definitely in the beginning of the month, to let go of those, you could say, challenging Virgo qualities that don't bring us more abundance in life. You know, when you are too worrisome, when you are too afraid, it puts too much pressure on you. Like, for instance, if you have to exams, or how do you call it? If you have to do that and you're you're worried, you can use that in a good way, of course, by studying, and then you use the fear as a motivation. But when it's too much, the excess, it becomes tightness and it becomes contracting, and then it becomes like so and it becomes an energy that is really not going to help you anyway. You're gonna freeze, basically. And with talking about freezing, which is like you can't go anywhere, you can't even study anymore, you know, when you're in the freeze mode. It's a survival mechanism. And the thing about freeze is that it's ruler of this eclipse, of the Virgo eclipse, which is Mercury, is not in the best position on the 3rd of March. Remember, I said that we had a Mercury direct going on the 22nd or the 21st, the 21st of the month, right? So Mercury is still going retrograde with the eclipse. So that means that Mercury is in worst place that it can be. It's in Pisces and it's retrograde at 20 degrees of Pisces. Again, if you have a Mercury in Pisces, it's not that you're bad or whatever, no. But I mean, they're all energies that like to be somewhere and doesn't really know how to do things in a certain sign. So it means when this eclipse is happening, there might be a lot of confusion because this Mercury in Pisces, and it has lost things, or it's confused, really. But the trick is, if you let go of that old mechanism, of the old survival mechanisms of the Virgo, which is micromanaging, which is wanting to be too perfect and taking on that guilt, right? I have to fix everything, but also everyone. It's my responsibility that you are drinking, or it's my responsibility that you are not having a job, and blah, blah, blah. I exaggerate now, but that is what we need to, you could say, energetically let go of, because it's not helping us. And actually, we're not helping others either. We are sending out to the universe that, if we say to our children, for instance, who are 20 years old and they're not studying, we're saying actually, and we're trying to help them, and we're actually saying, I don't trust it, and they have to be responsible for their own deeds and so on. So it's a really, really energetically letting go of those very rigid kind of habits, right? Because Virgo represents our habits, and what we reach in life and what we are in life have to do a lot with that, and the identity of taking on certain habits or not taking on certain habits. You all know them, those people who say, yeah, I want to lose weight. But if you look at their habits, it's not really that they're going to lose weight, right? Their identity is not really suiting what they want. So the method is wrong. The method is completely wrong. So this is a lot about our method and the methods that we are doing, the methods that we are using for reaching a certain goal. Or it's not about the goal, it's about the method. I'll take this example because it suits Virgo so much. So let's take the example that you want to get more muscles, right? Or you want to get more. I'll use the example that I was, a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, something like that, which is all about, I wanted to have a bit more muscles. I would say like, oh, I'm getting a little bit older and I used to have these strong legs, doing a little bit of ballet and now it's all gone. It's all gone. It's like, what? So, and it really was very interesting to know that it's all about those Virgo habits that are not good, which is in my case, it's not that I love to talk about myself, not at all. But it's just the habit of me was that I didn't have a habit of doing exercises. I didn't have a habit of, and if I say, oh, I want to have some beautiful muscles, or being a little bit stronger, and doing nothing, it's not going to work, is it? And why is it not working? Because I have bad habits or not good enough habits. So it's about letting go of that old identity. If you identify yourself, what would a person do with muscles? They would work out. Yeah, that would work out a little bit, or maybe 5 minutes, and we start with a little habit. That is the Virgo side, the positive Virgo side. But the negative Virgo side is the old identity of the bad habits. Let it go. It's that moment of doing it. And it's a very interesting eclipse because the eclipses that are going to happen in August, there's not going to be one in Virgo anymore. That is what I'm double checking. Oh, yes, there is going to be one in Virgo on the February of 2027. Oh, I'm not perfect. Bad me, right? So it's also that guilt of the Virgo that it has to go. It has to go because it's negative and we're not really having any advantage anymore because of that. So where is it in your life? I'm going to look at it in Virgo, where you need to let go of things. By the way, this eclipse belongs also to the Saros cycle 10 North. So it's also a very communicative eclipse and doing things step by step, very important. Otherwise, exhaustion. That is the Saros cycle. I put a link below of a video I made ages ago, about the Saros cycle. And I get that information from the book of Bernadette Brady. She was like a researcher around eclipses, and she looks at the origin of the eclipse. So this eclipse belongs to an original eclipse that is called to a certain family of eclipses, which is the Saros cycle 10 North, and it's all about watch out for exhaustion, so which is typical for the Virgo, burnout and all that kind of energy. It's a very Virgo thing, right? Because you think you are obliged to do something. You're not going to get a burnout if you do something that you love, and it's going to give you energy, because it's like you give and you receive. You give, but you also receive. Talking about receiving, this is the whole point, to make us really, you could say, get rid of those challenging Virgo traits in order for us to receive more abundance. Because if we think that we, like in the Virgo identity, if we can fix it all and we have to do it all, we're not open for receiving anything, right? We are controlling. And that could be good for a certain extent. Don't get me wrong here. If you want to, Virgo is that's why Virgo is very result oriented. But sometimes, not always, but sometimes at the cost of other stuff, right? And mostly that, the care of the self. So this is really a letting go of this Virgo energy in order for us to be ready for the abundance that is coming still, because the North Node is still in Pisces. There's still a lot to be open for and to receive and to accept. But of course, if you're open to receive, you will be open for the good, but also the bad and the ugly. And it's about, protecting yourself against that and saying, look, this is coming. No, thank you very much. Like in the, how do you call that? The wushu, the tai chi or whatever, you know, if something is coming and you don't want it, instead of resisting it, you just you kind of do like that. I did that once. You know, the martial art stuff. Oh my goodness. I loved it, but I thought, me being a Virgo, I was getting like, you know, all caught up in those movements. I couldn't do them. Anyway, that's why ballet suits me more, of course, because that's a very Virgo thing. You know, you have to be strict. You have to really control. Anyway, I'm digressing. Let's have a look for you, where this is coming from, and where this is happening in your chart, and also where Jupiter and Mercury. So very quick, it seems like a very pretty good month if we can shed off a lot of that Virgo energy that is no longer suiting for us. We want to go on in our lives. We want to go towards the Piscean in a good way, where there's a lot of receiving, you know, whether it is money, whether it is love, whatever it is. Aries people, you're having this eclipse in your 6th house. So what for you, it's really bad habits and habits that are no longer suiting you to get rid of. It's time. It's time. And it's a good time to energetically, to let go of that. For some of you, it's going to be work. You say, you know, this work, it's burning me out. I'm going to let go of it. Of course, make sure you've got some plans there. You've got some plans for something new as well. And talking about something new, when it comes to your mind, you're getting out of the mist. Because on the 21st, this Mercury direct in your 12th house, that was probably like very much like, what is this? What is this? I don't know what's going on. I'm a bit lost. Meditating or dancing or enjoying yourself and going to the seaside, and you know, because it's a water sign after all, can help you a lot. But with Mercury going direct, it's gonna show you the habits that were destructive for you, because the 12th house where Mercury goes direct is of course the house of where we imprison ourselves because of the subconscious. Things that were subconscious will become conscious for you. And that is really, really your power for this month. And Jupiter direct in the 4th is amazing, because you're going to find purpose at home. You're going to find purpose at maybe literally now things are shifting for you when buying a new home, or a home that is bigger for you, or the family is growing. You know, expansion is going on for you, which is amazing. And you find that purpose there, family as well. And strengthening that and emotional security that you feel from within. So it's a very emotional month for you on the background, you could say. But you can, because the 6th and the 12th house, they seem a bit boring houses, right? Especially for an Aries one who wants action. But it's going to help you so much forward in your relationships and whatnot for the future. Taurians, this is happening. This eclipse is actually in your favor because you're a fellow earth sign, and this full moon in Virgo, this eclipse, is in your 5th house of hobbies, of children, of love relationships, of projects, of the things that you love to do. Whether it is going to the cinema, whether it is going out for drinks with friends, you name it, the things that you love to do. But there's something about it that needs to go. Whether it is a love relationship that is no longer suiting for you, that is really, really not healthy for you, you can't let go of it. And because this trines your energy, it's going to be easy. It could also mean like a child that is leaving the home and that is having a life of its own. And of course, that's a change for a Taurian, but it can be very positive in the way that you say, hey, I've accomplished something in my life, and off he goes or off she goes, and having her own life or his own life. Can also mean letting go of a habit when it comes to a hobby. You know, you're not going to do that hobby anymore, or you're not going to do that recreational thing anymore, or your attitude around love, right? A love relationship, maybe not a love relationship, but an attitude towards love that you say, I'm not going to do that anymore. It's too much like, I try to fix my lovers always. I'm not going to do that anymore. It can be as simple as that, an understanding of that, which is lovely. And you going more for your goals for the future, you looking for like-minded people, and so on. That's more your stuff. Mercury goes direct in the 11th house. So things around goals and around friends will become more clear, especially if it wasn't in the past. So it could have been that you were a bit lost when it comes to your friendships or your associations, or maybe a friend was a bit lost. And now there is like a redirection. It can also mean a goal that you had, you reassessed it, it's not a good goal. Or the other way around, a goal that you thought was not a good goal, you're reassessing it and it's a good goal, right? So very interesting. And then Jupiter going direct in your 3rd house. Oh, that's amazing for travel, short trips, reconnecting with siblings, with neighbors in a positive way. When you have your own business, this is splendid for PR. You know, having a new website, a web shop, whatever. It's good for communication. It's wonderful to, you might have been learning a new skill and it was a bit difficult and you reassess, but now you're seeing the result of it, of the hard work that you did. So very nice, very nice. Gemini, this is happening in your 4th house, and this is a bit stretchy because it is in a square to your energy. The 4th house is your home, your family, your roots, your emotional well-being, and it shows that there is a pattern to let go of that was not working in your favor. Literally, it can be in the home that you let go of. But for most of you, it's going to be more on a relationship of, it's also your connection with parents. So there could be a shift there, a connection with your parents, that you do this in a different way. Or in their lives, there's a shift happening. What it also can mean for most of you, it's on a deep psychological level, that how you react. That you're now going to respond instead of reaction, and not reacting from, you want to fix stuff. You want to fix things. You want to, because you're Virgo, we all have Virgo energy. And for you, it's in the home area. So you want to improve that. You want to improve that, and you want to get rid of that over perfectionism of the Virgo there. And focusing a little bit more on your status, your social status, which is now, with Mercury going direct there, becoming clearer. So if you have been really not knowing what's up with your career, really not knowing where to go in life when it comes to your contribution to the world, the clarity is coming after the 21st of March for sure for you. So it's a good time for you to deal with contracts and so on after, if you can, of course, if you can. You're not gonna die if you can't. But doing those contracts after the 21st. So it's gonna become all clear, and to improve also your contracts, your communication with work, and with how people see you. And Jupiter in the 2nd house. That's lovely, going direct there. The 2nd house is your money. So you could be getting more money here because of the reconstruction, reassessment you did. It's going to be dependent of that, of course. If you did a lot of research and you tried to restore your financial situation in a way, or shift it, now you're going to see the reward. And Jupiter in the 2nd house also means that you have validation there, you have confidence, and because of your talents as well. So very deep for you, but very important as well. Important areas of your life. Cancerians, this is your 3rd house. This is quite nice because Virgo sextiles your energy. So this is nice energy. And the 3rd house is the house of your thinking, your day-to-day thinking, your communication. There is something that needs to go there. There is something that is too much Virgo-like, too much thinking of the nitty-gritty. It's typical, like seeing all the bad stuff and not the good stuff anymore, right? So that is a part that you are invited to let go of. You don't have to. You are your own boss, but you can. Now, because of this energy is really inviting to do so, and you're getting more towards the abundance and having a bigger picture mind and focus on that. So it could really mean you stepping away from narrow thinking, from scarcity thinking, from really observing also what you're saying to yourself on a daily basis. If you say, I'm not a great cook, I'm not a great cook, I'm not a great cook, you're not going to become the best cook ever. So you start like, oh, but do I really want to cook? Yes, I do. Do I really want to do that for my family? Yes, I do. Let's start, and let's not undermine myself anymore. And let's say I'm improving day by day or week by week and having a cook course. And this is a stupid example, but this is of the mind. So there is this Virgo energy, the monkey mind, really, that you have an opportunity to stop. Also, there could be a shift happening with siblings, with your relationship with siblings, the relationship with neighbors. There's like a letting go and a dissolvement there that you can do. Mercury goes direct in the 9th, which is amazing. So if you travel before the 21st of March, expect not the unexpected, but expect delays and things that get lost and all of that. So, but after the 21st, it's a great time for you with Mercury going direct to see. I mean, really see on the helicopter view, you could say, right? I always give the example when you're in the traffic jam. You're not seeing how far the traffic jam is. If you rise above your car, you can see how far it is, and nothing has shifted when it comes to facts, but you can deal with it better because you know, oh, now it's going to be a half an hour. And it's that what is inviting for you because you're getting the higher perspective, which is amazing for you. And of course, add that with Jupiter in your sign going direct. My goodness me, if that isn't purposeful, expansive, then I don't know what is. So you're going to have opportunities here. The things that you've reassessed maybe a couple of months ago, you can put them now into action with Jupiter going direct. That can be work, that can be relationships. You are going to be more expansive. You are going to be more abundant. You are going to find more meaning and purpose in the self, which is amazing. This only happens once every 12 years, so make the most out of it. It's good for you to travel, to study something, to get philosophical and spiritual, to see things in a bigger perspective. And it's going to make your life happier in the end. So for you, it's a lot about the mind and how you deal with your mind. Leos, this is happening, this eclipse in the 2nd house. So typically, on a very Monday level, I would recommend you to declutter. Declutter, dear Leos. Look up some YouTube videos to inspire you and motivate you, because it's going to help you a lot with value, with being open to receive from others, where, you know, the North Node is in your 8th house. And to receive not only from others, I mean financially, but I mean also love and emotional understanding and whatnot. So, but it's a lot about getting rid of things that are really, really not you anymore. That are and do it like the Virgo, you know, discern. Is this an object, a book, a piece of clothing, a piece of furniture, a piece of whatever? Is it real suiting me? Does it make my life better? If not, get rid of it. Get rid of it. You know, it's a lot about stuff. But it's also a lot about your value. Where do you identify yourself with? And that is represented with our stuff. You know, the books that we read, the clothing that we wear, and so on and so on. The cup of tea that we drink of, our tea out of. All that kind of thing. So when you're going to do that, you're going to be massively open for receiving from others. And that is juicy. Now, Mercury goes direct in your 8th house as well on the 21st. So this means that your thoughts were very deep, or are going to be very deep in the month of March, are going to be about life and death, and maybe the occult, or the philosophical side of life, the metaphysical side of life. Your thoughts are going to be quite deep, because maybe there is things to deal with that are important. An issue that comes up that has to do with fear that you want to battle, or you on a deep psychological level. There is something of a breakthrough here when Mercury goes direct. But before that, mostly it's like, I don't know where I am. So there is breakthrough on a deep psychological level for you. Maybe also for you if you deal with inheritances or money that you own from other people or that is connected with other people, investments and so on. Breakthroughs are coming when Mercury goes direct on the 21st and onwards. And also with investments and so on, things are becoming more clear. So with contracts and so on, it's also important. Jupiter in the 12th house going direct is lovely. It means that on a subconscious level, you feel more purposeful and you feel more nurtured by the things that you cannot see. What is that? Is it our ancestry? Yes. Is it people who passed away? Yes. Is it the universe, God, if you like, whatever you want to call it, something that is bigger than us, that is carrying you? You will feel it. You will feel it because of this Jupiter going forwards, and that's lovely. And it's also finding purpose in dealing with the subconscious, in understanding of the blind spots, and in going forwards with that for sure. Virgos. Virgo, this is all about you. This is, happy Virgo time, I would say, but it's an eclipse. It's not your birthday. But on the 3rd, put it on your calendar. It's really time for you to detach yourself from identity, from that is no longer you. So it's a wonderful time for you. Who do I want to be? To ask that question. Who is the new Virgo that I want to be? For me, for instance, as in the example, it's the one who's got muscles or a tiny little bit of muscles. Okay, what is a person with that identity who's got those muscles already? What are they doing? What are they doing? And just copy paste and let go of the old habits that are no longer suiting you. Whatever it is for you. You don't have to do all the bad habits, but start with one. You know, Virgo, a little goes a long way. And of course, because you are shedding off skin of the old identity, your relationships are gonna change. So it depends on your story, of course. But you may be sure, if you're a single Virgo, for instance, there's a massive energy here to meet new people, to meet a new lover, to meet a new partner, absolutely. To meet a new business partner, absolutely. With that North Node there in your 7th house and you making that shift of identity. Every time we shift our identity, the people around us are a reflection of that. And there's, of course, some delay, you could say. So you could be saying like, these people are not fitting anymore. And it's not that these people are bad. On the contrary, you were once aligned with them. But it's about seeing that and also being acceptance of that these people don't have to change with you. If you, for instance, decide I'm not going to drink anymore, I'm just talking about a habit now, I'm not going to drink anymore, and your friends are all heavy drinkers, of course, the true ones are going to stay. But a lot of them, you're going to feel like I don't align myself anymore. It's not like really my identity anymore. So something similar is happening for you. It can be also in a way like, because this Jupiter goes direct in your 11th house, which is amazing. The ruler of the 7th house of relationships is in your 11th house going direct. So if you're single, you could be meeting a friend that becomes a bit more than that. And a very good and encouraging and very wise person and very caring. But the thing is that because you have changed so much that indeed the people reflect that and that you're saying, what is going on here? So expect that this can be happening. And instead of judging people, you can say, look, this was me once, and it will dissolve. If the connection is karmically dead, it will dissolve anyways. So you don't have to do that much, right? Again, another thing that Virgo is really associated with, it does a lot of things, but it's about the less you do here, the more you're gonna receive. And the receiving is going to be from other people because there you have the North Node. And with Jupiter in your 11th house, going direct on the 12th, it shows like a lot of meaning as well in your social circle. There could be someone helping you. There could be, if you have your own business, for instance, the 11th house is a financial house. It's the second from the 10th house, so you could have an extra income stream or an improvement of your income stream, or you expanding when it comes to your social circle, you going on social media, having a YouTube channel, whatever. You kind of expand there, which is amazing. Goals, like for instance, if you have some friends and that you have associated yourself with for a long time, and those were the friends that were always, you know, believing a bit like a victim, you know, they can't do it, they can't do their own job, or they can't do a business of their own, and you're doing it. That's a difference, of course. So you're going to have to be able to be with the guilt that other people will not have good feelings when you are around, because you're like a mirror of them. So expect some energy like that, but the sooner you shed off that skin, the sooner you're going to have new friends who are very Jupiterian, you know, very expansive, and very abundant in many, many ways, not only financially, but also emotionally, and you name it. Very, very beautiful if you accept the energy of letting go. Librans, this is happening in your 12th house. So this eclipse is a lot about the subconscious, a lot about letting go of addictions, right? I always like this with the South Node and this moon in the 12th house. Why? Because people have an opportunity to really let go of an addiction or a pattern that has been, you know, there for a lifetime, and that has been copy-paste from even your ancestry. You can let go of that. Whatever the pattern is, it has to do with Virgo, of course. Maybe you always thought, I have to be of service to be liked, which is a very Libra thing. You let go of that. No, I can do also things for me and then be of service, but also liking me is important. You know, all these kind of patterns that are no longer suiting us, you can let go of that. I really love it. And Mercury goes direct in your 6th house. So it was a little bit, you know, lost there when it comes to your habits, when it comes to your routines, your work. Things are becoming clearer. For those of you who want a new work, a new job, the best is to sign contracts after the 21st, if you can, of course. Don't panic if you can't. You know, it's not the end of the world. And Jupiter in the 10th house, going direct. Dear Librans, expansion when it comes to work, expansion when it comes to career, or picking up a career that has to do with Jupiter, which is traveling and teaching and learning and coaching, and being the messenger of some sorts and caring for other people in that way. Beautiful, beautiful energy. But the bottom line is, let go of those old patterns, see them, see through them, and dissolve them. Do some sort of a ritual. It's gonna help you. Scorpios, this is nice because Virgo energy, Scorpio energy, it's a sextile, it means nice energy, and it's in your 11th house. So it's not that it's going to be too dramatic for you. But it's about letting go. Remember this eclipse in Virgo. So the 11th house is definitely friends. So there are some friends that need to, you know, they need to go. They need to go. No suiting me anymore for whatever reasons. Not that they're bad. You know, thank them for whatever they have given you. But it can be really about the feeling that you're obligated towards them. That there is this new sense here, look, I have to clear that out, I have to clear that up because it's dragging me down and I can't express myself anymore. Because the North Node, of course, is in your 5th house of self-expression where Mercury goes direct. So there could have been a lot of confusion around hobbies, the things that you love to do, maybe a business that you wanted to create, a love relationship as well. It might have all been a bit like, what's going on? With Mercury going direct, these things become more clear. Or a child, or you thinking about a child, these things all become clear after the 21st of March and onwards. Could also you reassessing a hobby and starting to do an old hobby, for instance, or also love could have come back to you, and you reassessed it and you make a decision after the 21st. Whether you let them go or not, it doesn't matter. It's up to your story, of course. But there's like a lot of these things going forwards again. But the more you shed off the skin of the old you that you related towards people that were reflecting the old you, the better. Also old goals. You might have had a goal of, look, I want to be a ballerina and I'm 92. And it's maybe not going to happen anymore, being a prima ballerina. You see what I mean? I'm exaggerating, I know. But it's that kind of story. Some goals, if you let them go, they have an opening again for you following your heart. And maybe the goal was not run by authenticity, it was run by fear. Because maybe a goal for you was like, oh, I have to earn more money, or I have to do this or that, but then I can't really express. Then yes, I earn a lot of money, but it's every day I go to work, I don't like it, soul wrecking, blah, blah, blah. All that kind of energy here in your 11th house, you have that available to dissolve that, to let it go, and to say thank you very much. I'm going to go for the things that I love to do, and I'm taking the consequences, and I'm being courageous. You know? So let go of some goals that are really not realistic anymore. Maybe you've been wanting getting and of course, in some occasions we need to put our teeth into something and we need to keep on going, right? Don't get me wrong here. It's not in all cases, but for you, there must be some goal here that was really not realistic anymore. Let it go. And it's going to give you a massive energy to express yourself from another level. With Jupiter in the 9th, go travel. Going direct on the 12th, go travel far away if you can. Study if you can. Explore. Write, teach, or be the student, or be the teacher. Express yourself in a broader way, see things in a bigger perspective. That Jupiter there in the 9th house, I love it. It's in its own house, it can do a lot of good. So you having the bigger picture, also when it comes to you feeling connected with all there is, it's gonna give you a lot of boost to go forwards in your life. Sagittarians, this is important because, and it's a bit of a stress there because Virgo squares up to your energy. So this is happening at the top of your chart, which is in a lot of ways, it's a connection with parents. There might be a shift there, an old attitude, a new attitude, or in the life of your parents, there is a shift going on there. Can be career for most of you, right? There is like an old career going, a new career coming in, or a side of you that if you don't have the career, but even if you do have the career, it's a bit like the second ascendant, the midheaven. It's a bit like how people see you in the world. And there is something that you have identified yourself with, whatever it is, that needs to let go of. It needs to let go of. And it's going to give you a lot of more emotional peace, which is lovely, isn't it? Because the North Node is in your 4th house of emotional well-being. So whatever it is that you need to let go of, and it can also be an attitude, an idea that you have to work hard, or a mentality around work, you know, that is Virgo, like I have to micromanage everything, I have to be ahead of everything, or micromanage, blah, 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 blah. It's a bit like, let go of that, have a bit more peace. And you're going to receive more emotional peace, emotional well-being, and feeling really safe, which is important, isn't it? So I'm not saying that don't work anymore. That's not what I'm saying. But I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. It's less making it happen. And because of that, it's like you're making things happen because you kind of let go of the tightness. And that's beautiful. Mercury going direct in your 4th house is beautiful as well. It means like things around home, family, roots, literally the home, but also the home area and the family and the connections there, parents, where you're coming from. All these things go forward, seem to go forward now with Mercury going direct on the 21st. Also, if you're in the midst of buying and selling, it's best the contracts to do that after the 21st. And things really fall into place and an understanding of that. And you're feeling a bit lost maybe before that, around, the home, literally your home. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to buy? Are you going to sell? What is this? And family members as well. And things can shift here. And that's lovely. And Jupiter in the 8th, going direct on the 12th can mean money coming from other people to you. So tax returns, inheritances, and especially if you have been having an inheritance, for instance, and there was like, things very difficult with the family and not clear and all of that, these things come really clear around that time. And they have that meaningful purpose now with Jupiter in the 8th house. It can also mean being because you feel emotionally more secure, emotionally more safe, peaceful, rather than trying to fix everything, in the real world, in the 3D world, and trying to micromanage all of that. Because of that mentality, you are also open to the resources of other people. That can be your spouse, your partner, your business partner with Jupiter in your 8th house, an investment or insurances. You see them in another way, and you get masses of money. I hope for you, because of that. Jupiter in the 8th house. It's not only money; it's also other resources like emotions and feeling that other people are very open and appreciating you. But you have to be open to receive that, right? It's that kind, and Jupiter is your ruler, so it's you going forwards. You probably have reassessed a lot during the months that Jupiter, the last couple of months when it was retrograde in that 8th house. There's a lot of introspection. There's a lot of deep psychological stuff that you didn't understand that you now understand about yourself, about your roots, and all of that. And now Jupiter is going forwards, which is you. You are going forwards. You're out of the introspective time. And now you're ready for action. So Jupiter in the 8th house, finding purpose there. Beautiful. Could also mean you having a bigger interest in the occult and in the metaphysical side of life. Capricorns, this is lovely because also you are a fellow earth sign, and the eclipse in Virgo is happening in your 9th house in a trine energy. So notwithstanding the fact this is an eclipse about letting go and letting go of old habits, around what? Around your mindset. I mean, the bigger mindset, the things that you believe in. It's time to let go of that. But when it trines your energy, it means that it's going to be easier for you to do that, because letting go of an old convincement that you had, or something that you think is true, it's the toughest thing. But for you, it seems like easier. It seems like, yeah, I have to let go of that idea that I have to work hard for the money, and it's these things that we say to ourselves or that are in our heads from God knows where, and that we have, kind of absorbed, and it's ready to let go of them. It's also being you being a little bit more tolerant when it comes to life in general, that Virgo nitty-gritty kind of energy when it comes to the mind and wanting to know everything. Why? It's now like, it is what it is, and let's get it on. It gives you more peace. It gives you a peace of mind. So for you, there's a huge it's a very mental energy here. And definitely with Mercury going direct in your 3rd house, you're going to, if you lost your keys before the 21st, you're going to find them back. Or maybe a new computer or whatever. New contracts with people, with communication after the 21st and onwards of the month of March. So you might go back to a country that you once visited as a short trip, or reestablishing your connections with siblings and with neighbors in another way. And before that, it could have been a bit, I don't know what's happening here. Also in your communication, it could be really like, and especially at the beginning of the month of March, like, what is going on? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to think. just do nothing, you know, because it's Mercury in Pisces, it's better to do nothing and to observe, of course, and to analyze, and not analyze, but observe what's going on here. And when Mercury goes direct, you will see clear. You will see more clear than ever. Jupiter goes direct in your 7th house on the 12th, which is amazing because then it shows purposeful relationships, reassessments that you did around your relationship. I mean, significant relationships like love relationships, business relationships, off you go. And this is positive. This means that when you're single, for instance, someone could come in that you already knew or knew. I mean, Jupiter going direct in your 7th house is amazing. That happens every 12 years, right? So it could be many people crossing your way who have a little bit more of the Jupiterian kind of vibe, which is like the wise guy or the wise woman, and which is also someone who nurtures, because it's in Cancer after all. So a lot of juiciness when it comes to your relationships, purposeful. You could upgrade when you're already in a relationship. There could be an upgrade, like, okay, we were living together now, we're going to expand the family. Jupiter in the 7th house. So I remember when I had Jupiter in my 7th house, I did that, you know. Anyway, beautiful energy for you on the relationship level, more clarity if it wasn't. And but first and foremost, get rid of some old belief systems that were suiting you in the past, but that was more like a defense mechanism. But now it's you go to the practicalities of life when it comes to the logical mind, you know, where your North Node is. Aquarians, that is the 8th house. You're having this in the 8th house, this eclipse. And this means a lot of, you could say, dissolvement of anxieties, a lot of dissolvement of deep psychological stuff that you now understand. And that can be, although it's not easy, because you probably was triggered by it, or in the past, or during this eclipse now, it shows a lot of release of trauma, right? The 8th house is a trauma house, and when you've got that South Node there, and also that means that the complexity of it, you can let go of it. You know, the circle is around, you've done the process, you've done the work, the deep psychological work that is. And that's a beautiful thing, because the North Node is in your 2nd house, where it is about your values and your self-worth and, you know, how you are in the 3D world. And this Mercury there is going direct as well in this 2nd house. So there's going to be some new ways for you for income. You know, if you've been looking for that to improve your financial situation, that must have been probably a trigger as well, you know, with the Mercury going backwards and forwards in the 2nd house. Maybe there was like something in the income stream, or that wasn't going so well, or a structure that was not good. If you've done the work and you focused on that to improve it, my goodness me, Mercury direct in that house shows that you can have an improvement, you can have a new income stream, you can have new ways of attracting money in your life. And with that, of course, also value, confidence, talents that you feel like, yeah, I've got these talents, I'm going to use them. Very beautiful. And Jupiter in your 2nd house, also going direct, the 6th house, sorry, of Cancer, is like your habits and your lifestyle. So there is things that you reassessed about your lifestyle, about your work, about the purpose of work, the purpose of your routines, of your lifestyle, and all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but now things go forward from the 12th and onwards. So for a lot of you Aquarians, this could mean a new job, definitely with this combination of the Mercury in your 2nd house. Could be a new job that is really purposeful for you. And that is really like you being of service, and you're loving it because it gives you as well a lot of abundance and purpose and love that you love to do. So, but also health, you know, it could mean an improvement of health. And Jupiter in the 6th house is not only a better lifestyle, but also it's a better routine. And in Cancer, it can also has to do with what you put in your mouth, right? The food you take in and so on. everything that you accumulate right through the mouth, second house, where this Mercury goes backwards and forwards. A lot of habits can shift here. So a lot of improvements that seem to be a bit on the background, because this is not really the key areas of your life, but they can have a really good knock-on effect. And of course, you had that eclipse there, or, if you're watching this before the 17th of February, you're going to have this massive eclipse in your sign. So make the best out of it. There is like the new you emerging. And it seems like there's also a lot going off old trauma, right, being resolved. And we all have it, right? We all have some traumas in our lives, and we all have events and things that we picked up as survival mechanisms that helped us up to a point, and then we can let go of that. Beautiful. And last but not least, the Pisceans. This is massive, of course, because, and very, very interesting. A bit tension though, because it's opposing your energy. So this eclipse is happening in your 7th house. And you're having also the new moon in Pisces on the 19th of the month at 28 degrees of Pisces. So that's happening a lot in your relationship sector. So if you are in a relationship and it goes pretty well, there is still something that is shifting. There is like an attitude, or the person that you are with is going through a lot of shifts and change and kind of shedding off some old skin, so to speak. So there's changes in the relationship. If that is a bad relationship going on, then yes, this, of course, not for all of you, but if you say, yeah, this is going on for a while, and, this is an energy of letting go of relationships, absolutely, absolutely. This could be it, because the North Node is with you, Piscean. Dear Piscean, it's very important for you to know that you are the most important person in the world, right? Because you have to deal with you until the rest of your life. So, and when you do well, people that you love, let's say children, for instance, which is the only one that we are responsible for up until the age of until their teens. And after that, not anymore, not anymore. Of course, you're there, you guide them, which is a different thing. But main thing is now, my message is for you, put emphasis on you. Put emphasis on your growth. Put emphasis on your development, and let go of the people who are not your people. And you Pisceans, I don't have to explain it to you. You know instinctively. You don't own. The Virgo thing is like, I want to be, the helper and the fixer and I want to help them. But do they want to help themselves? That's a big one for you Pisceans. If the answer is no, let them go. Let them go and see what happens, right? So it's a very interesting time for Piscean when it comes to their relationships. And it's an opportunity for them to, because your ruler is going forwards, your ancient ruler, Jupiter, is going forwards in your 5th house of self-expression. And it's happening on the 12th. So you're going to feel that, yes, right? You've been pondering a lot around love, because the 5th house is also love. So you have been reassessing what you think is important in life when it comes to love. It's the 50-50. It's like I invest in them 50%, and they invest in me 50%, or they, you see the balance of that. It's a lot about the balance in relationship. Where have you lost it? And you have an opportunity now with the energy, with the weather forecast. The weather is with you. You don't have to do anything. I mean, if it's raining, you can still go out in the rain. But it's better when it stops raining. It's going to be easier just because you're more in the flow. So you have a lot of opportunity of shedding off old relationships that are no longer suiting you, that are toxic, that are out of your line, that are not good for you and neither for them. Absolutely. Some Pisceans will go up a level, for sure. And that's the whole thing, because they see themselves in a new way. And this Jupiter going direct in the 5th house also shows a lot of purpose in your own creativity, in your own heart, in what you love to do. You might be going back to a hobby that you loved to do when you were younger, maybe cooking or taking care of whatever, maybe flowers or whatever it is, a hobby that you love to do, that you pick up again. Or learning something that has to do with something that you loved as a child. All these things, maybe you loved horse riding when you were a child, doing that again. You know, that kind of thing can be so important when Jupiter goes direct in your 5th house. Children as well. There might be a child that was going through something and now Jupiter goes direct and you see it blossoming, or you decide to have children, you know, that could be the case as well. But definitely a time to enjoy yourself. I mean, with the North Node in your sign, with Jupiter going direct, with Mercury going direct in your sign. So it must have been a time before the 21st of March, there's gonna be still a little bit of what's going on with me, where am I heading, where is my path? But you Pisceans are used to that. You are used to the fact that sometimes we don't know, and that is okay. You're one of those signs that a lot of people are jealous of, including me, that can really say, I'm not okay, and it's okay. But then you have more flow, and now is the time for you that you're gonna have more guidance from the self, from your own intuition, and getting it into the real world. Mercury going direct on the 21st, which means contracts, you signing contracts for whatever, for a house or a relationship or whatever it is. It's you're gonna find more clarity. So a bit of unclarity before, definitely about your purpose and where you go into life, but this is all going to open up. So the end of the month is really, really beautiful for you, or beautiful energy for you, for sure. And the more you are understanding the relationships that are holding you back and you let go of them, the easier it's going to be. The karmic sense as well. Maybe you are one of those Pisceans or one of those people who were saying like, yeah, I've been wanting to stop that relationship for such a long time. It's never, the timing is not right. The timing is right now. And you can really enjoy the ride, basically, of you exploring and feeling the abundance and being ready to receive now on a level that you haven't received for a long time. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for listening, for your comments, your likes, your subscriptions, your ordering of readings. I'll put a link below to my website where you can order a reading if you like, and I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.